Do your students irritate you? Teachers, what do you say? Here we have a post from OK Artist 7074 asking that very question. Do your students irritate you? So I'm a college student at a tech school, and there are some really weird people who go here and just irritate the hell out of me. None of them are bad kids or do anything wrong to warrant a teacher disliking them. I've seen a lot of my professors just have a lot of patience with these students. Do you get irritated by your students for no reason? Well, yeah, when you're working with people, you're going to experience all kinds of emotions, especially when you're talking about uh, little kids, preteens, teens. Yeah, you're going to experience uh, moments of irritation, of frustration. Now, the last question here: do you get irritated by your students for no reason? No, no. Now, I will say that there have been moments where perhaps I've had to apologize because I may have had something in a previous class just frustrate me, and I didn't do a really good job in the next class of controlling my emotions and keeping myself in check, or maybe I over I just I over responded to a situation because I was already thinking about something else. And so when those things happen, and they will, you apologize because you want to be someone. Remember, teachers are leaders. You're teaching your students how to be, you know, you you're the architect of the environment, right? But you're also teaching students how to regulate themselves. By how you regulate yourself, you're setting an example. Always, there's much is required from the one person in the room who is addressed by their surname. So no, you can't get irritated for no reason. Now, does that mean now does that mean there aren't situations where you need to express that, hey, what you did, that really frustrates me? Oh yeah, you're definitely, it's a must that you do that. Let's look at some of the comments. This one says, uh, the ones that irritate me do irritating things. Okay, that's a very simple answer. That's a very simple answer from a veteran teacher right there. But I want to highlight this one. Patience comes with practice. If this is something that you struggle, or you need to develop, it's going to come with practice. You cannot get frustrated and let it show each and every time. You have to there's got to be levels. There's got to be grace given, and the students need to feel that they're getting, not that they're being let off the hook, but they're being given grace, and that that they made a bad decision, but you're going to give them grace, and eventually you guys are going to have a discussion about what the student did. They're not getting off, but they're going to get a little bit of grace, and they understand that. Typically, kids who, if they're making bad decision in your classroom, they're making bad decisions in other phases of their life, and so they've had adults deal with them. But if you come along and you're balanced, and you give grace every now and then, that's going to change their heart and how they respond to you. Again, I'm not talking about not holding them accountable and letting them off the hook. All right, patience comes with practice. Some people are just irritating, but you got to put that aside and only show irritation when they've done something that actually warrants that response. And ladies and gentlemen, sometimes they sometimes it is appropriate to show like this level of frustration and emotion in a controlled in a controlled manner, meaning that Johnny, you are so irritating. No, Johnny, this decision that you made here, that frustrates me. It irritates me because it distracts the learning that's supposed to be going on in the class. So you see that now it's not about you as a teacher and your frustration. It's about the fact that we've got a mission to accomplish here in this class, and your decision is pulling us away from that mission. So Johnny, we've had discussions about this previously, and I feel like what I'm doing and try to turn things around, like I'm not seeing the fruits of that, and that you got to know, Johnny, that's frustrating me. There's nothing wrong with that, because again, you're focused on the decision of the student. You're not focusing on who the student is, because you want that student in the classroom learning right along with the rest of the students. And again, I think as this post right here, it talks about that patience comes with practice, and to be able to phrase it when it's time to go off, because this student has really been pushing it, and it seems like you climbing the ladder and being patient with this student, not going to 10 immediately with that student, but you're trying to help the student reteach those expectations. But when it seems like they're not getting it and it's time to go there, it's time to go there. But again, you're controlled, you're measured. The why is because the decision is affecting my ability to teach my classroom and the students to learn. Nothing is going to interfere with the learning that's going on in this classroom. And Johnny, I need you on board with the learning that's going on in this classroom, because I want you to learn and grow as well. Nothing wrong with that. When you put it like that, as opposed to you're just going off, that's going to be taken differently from the student. And perhaps in another video, we'll really flush that out, the differences between the two. But I think ultimately, when we talk about irritation and frustration, you've got to be patient. You've got to be long suffering. Okay. And I know it's very difficult at times, but yeah, you're the leader in the classroom. You're the example. Like if you're impatient, if you're not showing grace, it's just going to be a terrible, terrible experience for everyone in the classroom. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. And until we meet again, please don't forget that teachers are leaders.